Hello and welcome to Keff's F2P guide to King of Fighters All-Star. For those of you who don't know me, I've been a long time completely free-to-play player on the King of Fighters All-Star. I started on the first week of global launch, re-rolled till I got Orochi Iori, and I haven't missed a day since. My entire philosophy around playing this game is to play it with limited resources, so that means I've never bought anything at all. No, not even the really sweet Battle Pass packages. This series of videos is made with that in mind, getting the most value out of your limited resources. So you don't have to be a free-to-play player, you can be a dolphin or a whale, but still want to make the most out of your rubies. You also don't have to like or subscribe, but I do hope that you find this series of videos useful. Right, so let's get into it. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about battle cards, specifically the option battle cards. This might be the system with the most questions that new players would have, so that's why this video was made first. So let's get straight into it. We're going to be looking at some of the battle cards. We're going to be talking about the option cards today and how they're used, types of option cards, which option cards are the best that you want to focus on, you don't want to combine them or throw them away, and how to transcend options and what kind of priority skills you're going to want to have on these option cards as well. Jumping into my battle cards list, you're going to see that I've got a ton of battle cards. Firstly, you definitely want to expand your repertoire of battle cards, like your inventory space for battle cards beyond your initial, I think it was 600. You can see that I've already gone to 1,580. Just wait for temporary rubies to do this. I think you don't really have to spend your permanent rubies to do this as well. So jumping straight into the option cards, don't worry, we're going to have videos for the special cards and the set cards as well. Set cards I think definitely would have the most questions, but here you can take a look at some of the options I've chosen to keep. And we're also going to be looking at some of them as well. So first and foremost, what are option cards and how are you going to be using them in the first place? So if you jump into any fighter, I'm just going to choose Nameless as an example. And if you jump into their equip section, so that's where you're going to see this part, equip. Effectively, cards themselves are equipment for this game, right? So every fighter can equip 2 special cards when they're awakened, 3 set cards, as well as 2 option cards. So the option cards are the 2 green ones over here. The way you can tell that they're option cards are the green symbol on the top left-hand corner. So this one, yeah. And in terms of what kinds of option cards there are just kind of a few of them. Generally, in fact, most option cards would have 2 effects. So if I'm just going to quickly scroll down here. Oh, there you go. You can actually see that most of these, like plain Jane option cards, I'm just going to call these the plain option cards because these are the ones that came out at the start of the game. So for instance, this one with Clark, Rolf, and Leona on it. It's really simple. It's got 2 effects. One is increased defense by 1.7%, and the other one is increased damage dealt to blue elements by 2.5%. So really plain. So those are the basic kinds of option cards you will get. They're the ones that you're going to find as like 5-star option cards. And those are relatively useful depending on which ones you keep. And this is kind of a hint already as which ones are the most useful, judging by how many of these I have. And beyond that also you have your 3-star option cards and your 4-star option cards, but they're really just fodder. You don't really have to care about any of those anymore. So you've got your plain 5-star option cards, and then it upgrades a bit. You do have your 6-star option cards. So thankfully I do have a mouse that I can drag quickly with. You have your 6-star option cards over here. So a great example would be a recent one with Ryu. That would be the Ryu option card. So these could be character specific or they could be type specific. So this is an example of a character specific option card. You can also only equip one of these at a time, not both of them at a time, if it says exclusive option card. So it literally means you only get one at a time, exclusive. So the first skill over here is increase attack by 3.2%, and then you have the decrease skill cooldown effect, and then a special Ryu only effect, which is to increase shock damage by 60% for 5 seconds upon using an active skill. So this differs from character to character, but most importantly, there are special unit specific options, right? But all in all, this is already a pretty decent option card because you already get like the 2 main options for this, and it's a 6-star, which means that it's got better stats than the 5-star option. So as a quick example of something that might be type specific, we can look at again the Street Fighter option card. So this is a great example of a type specific option card. So instead of just being character specific, it actually tells you that it increases Street Fighter 5 fighters character rate by 7%. Characters critical rate by 7%. Yeah, so this is a really useful skill to have as well, which I'll explain a bit more later. So now we go on into which are the most important option cards. Right, so we're going to start off with the 5-star options, the ones that you definitely don't want to miss, and the ones that you want to keep multiple copies of. So as you can probably tell, it's one of this is this one. This is the Strategic Retreat option card. It features Maxima on the cover. You'll hear most people call it the Maxima card. So why is this option card so good? Firstly, I mean, you have your HP by 3%, that's alright. But the most important part about this card is this thing. Decreases skill cooldowns by 1.9 seconds. So they don't make option cards like this anymore. So there are only 3 option cards in the game that have decreases skill cooldowns by 1.9 seconds. And this makes a significant difference to your damage, even if you're awakening. So if you've ever awakened a unit and you've started using the awakening loop, you would see that sometimes they're not that smooth. You still have to wait like a second for it to cool down, because awakening only reduces cooldowns by 80%. So this actually cuts it down to almost nothing. So if you equip 2 of these 1.9 second option cards, you will see not only your normal loops become much faster because your skills cool down a lot faster. If you equip 2 of this, it's almost a 4-second difference in terms of like how fast your skills cool down. But during your awakening loop as well, you will spam a lot quicker than before. So this is a really, really important skill cooldown card. So the other one that you can use as well, besides Strategic Retreat, this Maxima option card, is this one, which may in even some cases be more useful for defense type units. So this one increases defense by 3.5%, and you can see also decreases skill cooldowns by 1.9 seconds. Right, so this is the Unreal Peace option card. So whatever you do, the moment you get either of these 2 cards, you definitely don't want to lose them. Right, and build as many as you can, because as many fighters as you have, this is always useful. There is one example of an option card that is also a 1.9 second cooldown card, but most of you will not have it. Most people will also not have multiple copies of it. That's the unfortunate thing, because it's a collab card. If I can find it here, I'll show you what it looks like. Gosh, oh wait, I'm gonna sort by combat power. Yeah, that's a way you can find your option cards as well. In case you ever lose your cards, you can sort it by combat power. You at least see the ones that you fully built out at the start. Here you go, this one. So this is the Gintama option card. It is really, really important because it increases critical rate by 1.7%. So critical rate increases your CP by quite a bunch. If you can do something like this to increase attack type fighters critical rate by 2%, that's even better as well. But that comes a bit later on when I talk about transcending cards. So similarly, also decreases skill cooldowns by 1.9 seconds. If I could go back in time and get more of this, I would definitely get more of these. This is a fantastic option card. Now, so that's with the 5-star cooldown reduction cards. There's one more special card, actually 2 more special cards in the 5-star category that you definitely want to take note of. It's this one. This is the Kasumi Christmas gift wrapping card. So what it does is increases attack by 4%, critical rate by 4%, and increases critical damage by 15%. So why is this card so important? It just basically boosts your CP by a lot. So in any mode where CP is important to you, this card will actually boost it by a whole chunk. Let me give you an example of how much it boosts CP. So if you look at Phantom Ruler Ignis, he's got the whole Mad Tea Party set on him and everything, as well as other CP boosting stuff. But in particular for this option card, you can see his CP now is at 180,000. Look what happens when I unequip it. It drops by 20,000. That is massive. So let me just give you an example of what happens if I were to equip like any random other like 6-star option on him. It only goes up by 6,000. So you can see the massive difference that this attack, crit, and crit rate card gives to him. This is really useful for boosting CP. It doesn't necessarily add a whole bunch of damage, but it's great for boosting CP. So as many of this card you can get and Transcend, definitely keep these as well. So yeah, those are the 3 most important cards that you might get in the 5-star category. There are also other cards as well, such as the Halloween Xiangfei option. Let's see, this one. Yeah. So this is a really useful card as well. It doesn't boost that much CP, but what it does is that it also increases crit rate by 4%, but it gives you a chance to deal chill damage equal to 140% of your attack upon landing a critical hit. So why is this important? The Halloween additional special effect isn't that fantastic, but this one is important because what it does is that it helps you to break chill shields, like the ones that you might find on Mecha Spider, or in Guild Raid as well. So this is pretty useful for that. Now moving on to the 6-star cards, I'm just going to start off first with a pretty useful one. It's called the Shermie option for most people. So the Shermie option, let's see, gotta find it. It's over here. So this one is still pretty useful. If you get one, definitely don't throw it away for any reason. What it does is that if you've got a chance of dealing shock damage. So it's similar to the Halloween Xiangfei one, but in this case it's for shock damage. So it's very good for breaking shield, perhaps a Mecha Spider, or shield on Guild Raid as well, where shock damage might come in handy. Right, so we've started on the 6-star cards, so let's keep going. So good examples of great 6-star cards to have would be something like these. So this has become really common, but you're going to see a lot of 6-star cards with increases attack by 5% and decreases skill cooldowns by 1.2 seconds. So that's the new standard that Netmarble and King of Fighters have decided to give us. It's 1.2 seconds. You don't see 1.9 seconds anymore. Maybe they thought that was too broken. But these are the standard ones that you're going to get these days. You can even see a couple of these. In fact, all of the character-specific options in Street Fighter V Collab are this format. Increases attack by 5% and decreases skill cooldowns by 1.2 seconds. So these usually also come with some sort of character-specific special effect. That's fine, that's pretty cool as well. But what you really want is the skill cooldown by 1.2 seconds. So a common combination for a lot of units is to do something like this that I have for Akuma over here, which is 1.9 second cooldown card, as well as 1.2 second, you can see from Akuma, 1.2 second decreases skill cooldown card. So that's really great for like trying to smoothen out your awakening rotation as much as possible. So you want to keep most of these cards. All of these are pretty useful. If you've ever gotten one of these as well, where it increases special signature fighters critical rate by 7%, that's really helpful to boosting your CP quite a bit as well. And it also comes, of course, with a very valuable decreases skill cooldowns by 1.2 seconds effect. So as you can probably tell, most of my cards are going to be looking like this. They've got decreases skill cooldowns, increases critical damage. Yeah, all these are just really useful in general. There are some cards that have popped up recently, so they tend to come with critical rate as well as a significant amount of critical damage. You want to try and keep these cards as much as possible. The reason why is because they're also really useful for boosting CP. Yeah, so one great example again would be the one with Street Fighter. So you've got critical damage by 10%, critical rate by 7%, attack by 5%. You can see how much this will boost Akuma CP. I mean, no spoiler alert, it's a huge chunk. You can see right here, boom, it's up 20,000 CP. So that's how you get Akuma to really crazy CP levels. Let me show you a quick example of this, where you would combine it with a whole bunch of other like crit rate stuff. And here you go, Akuma CP is now at 207,000. Good enough to clear the last stage of Chapter of Fight. Alright, so let's talk about transcending your options. So how do you go about transcending options, and what are the stats that are great for this? I'm going to give you an example by actually transcending something on the spot. And let's see what I can grab. Okay, let's do a Christmas Kasumi gift wrapping card. So in order to transcend an option in the first place, you need to have it evolved, right? And of course, To evolve it, you just need to reach level 25 and then click on the evolve button once you have the correct materials. You can find out how to get the materials when you click on them as well. So in order to even transcend anything, you need to maximize it, and that's both in your skill as well as your level, and now you're ready to transcend. So for 5-star option cards, it's really simple. You just need 2 random for the 5-star cards that you might not use. So I'm just going to pick 2 of these because I already have the 3 PGs, I think, for Orochi Yashiro. Yeah, of course I do. That's from EQ. And then for Shermie as well, I don't really need another one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jam them together and then transcend with this. And what happens is that you get 1 pink star, as well as it increases the level that you can raise this card up to. So this is, you can choose one of 2 skills. If you've already done one, then what you can do is you can keep like choosing either the existing one or the new available one, right? And then you just keep going from there. So you can increase the skill again. And I'll just warn you first that like at the end of this, towards the last few stages, it costs quite a bit of cards, right? So you want to be able to you want to farm the weekly card dungeon for all of the resources you need for this. Alright, one more time, and then we're going to not transcend anymore. I'm going to tell you about the stats that are really useful for transcending. So let's see what I can pick out as fodder cards. Here we go. Let's pick 2 of these Radiant Gemstones, just because I don't really need that many of them. Okay, so now you've got increases balance type fighters bleed damage by 2.4% and chill damage. I mean, whatever. I'm just gonna choose one of these. They're both not that fantastic. So you can keep going like this. You can either choose the existing one or the new available one, and you can keep going from then on. So for transcended cards, for like the 6-star cards, to transcend them, all you need is one 6-star card as well. So you can't use your 5-star cards. Anything that's available, you can choose as well. Make sure that you don't burn stuff that you actually need, like this one. Like, I'm not going to click transcend, that's insane. So the skills and the specific skills that you want and stats from your transcended card, these are the ones that you want to look out for. So specifically, you want to look out for attack. So you want to match your type together with the stat that you want. So here you've got attack type fighters attack by 5.8%. That's great. That gives Akuma a nice little boost in terms of attack, right? So that would be really useful for dealing more damage. If you're looking for additional stats, what I definitely recommend is you want to look out for crit. So I think this one has it. So you've got it. Increases attack type fighters critical rate by 2.8%. So the moment you get crit, you can basically stop, because that's really, really good for CP. That's the best stat that you can have for CP. If you can't get crit, you get crit damage instead, that's not too bad either. So you can settle for crit damage or attack. So those are the ones that you kind of want to settle for. Alternatively, you can also look at the damage type. So if you look at my Akuma option, it's got attack type fighters darkness damage. So you know that Akuma does burn as well as darkness damage. So either one is fine for him, in my opinion. If you want to really maximize it, of course, burn would be great because he does quite a bit of explode damage. But either of those is fine, in my opinion. And it's not easy to get the stat you want. So I would just settle instead of spending too many resources on this as well. One other thing that you can look out for is penetration. So penetration does add a bit of CP, not that much, but you can also definitely look at using penetration as well. So yeah, that's in a nutshell how you can look at options, what you can do with all of these options, what are the good options, and what stats to look out for transcending your options. So if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Any other videos you'd like me to make, I will be making one for sets as well, and for special cards. So yeah, I hope this video was really useful to you. Hit me up on Discord or on this channel if you ever have anything that you might want to ask. Thanks for watching, and till the next video. Bye!